One of my favorite professors traumatized me for life. Hopefully I recover. Welcome back. As some of you know, I'm a college student, which means I'm taking classes. In one of my classes, the professor wanted us to learn the names of everyone else in that class. I'm not the best with names. There would eventually be a quiz on the names, and it was a medium-sized class. It had around 40 or 50 students in it. He gave us a month and a half to memorize all the names, which I believe could be fair. But instead of spending time learning everyone's name, I decided to not learn everyone's name. He kept mentioning the name quiz. I kept not caring. I mean, after all, I'm almost at 200,000 subscribers. I'm bigger than he is. Until one day he said that he wanted to do a little exercise to help us learn each other's names for the quiz coming up. So he had us move the desks in the classroom into a circle. I was thinking that we would go around the room and every person would say their name and a fun fact, which is cheesy, but professors do it. No. Let me try to explain what he did. Let me explain this in a way that would make sense to Bedwars players. So imagine each one of these spaces is a person in the circle. There's this person right here. This person just has to say, "Hi, my name is White." Then this person then has to say, "That is White, I am blue." So then it goes to this person. So this person has to say, "That is White, that is blue, I am Diamond Generator." And it goes all the way around the circle until there's eventually this person that has to say everyone else's name. So there would be someone who had to say everyone's name. The 50 of us are in the circle, and someone needed to start. The way that we chose the starting person was genius. This professor was a psychology professor, and he loved social experiments. He made it so someone would volunteer to be the last person, which would have to say everyone's name. The result of doing this was, A, the person sitting next to the person that volunteered would only have to say their own name, and B, very few people volunteered. Now, I'm not the best with names. I was praying I'd only have to remember 2 or 3 names. The person who volunteered was on the exact opposite side of the room as me. So I was not in the worst position, but it was pretty bad. I still had to memorize around 20 names before it got to me within 3 minutes. Everyone else had all the names mastered. They're like hardworking straight A students or something. I am trying to write down all the names as fast as I could, first and last, because we had to remember both. My only goal was to somewhat memorize the order that the people were in, hoping to survive when it got to me. It was finally my turn. I decided to close my notes that I was taking because that's what was expected. And then I tried my best and I bombed it. I think the only name I got right was the first person's and my own. It was terrible. I then had some relief. It was over. I didn't need to sweat it anymore. I could just sit back and watch everyone else easily complete the task. After everyone finished their turn, the professor got up and walked into the middle of the classroom. He then said, and I quote, "We will now do this again, just to make sure everyone is comfortable for the name quiz." So yeah, I struggled a lot the first time through, and the professor said that we would do it a second time. I swear, while he was saying this, he was looking straight at me out of the corner of his eye. I am sitting there begging the person next to me to be the person that goes last so I could go first, but no. It ended up being someone who was sitting right next to the person who did it the first time. So I had to go through it all again. But thankfully, I had my notes and vaguely remembered the order that the names were in. Vaguely. Not well, but vaguely. Right before we started, the professor told us we would be going the opposite direction around. We would be going clockwise instead of counterclockwise. So the only people I had to say the names of were the people I did not try to memorize the first time through. After it was all over, I was in such mental turmoil that the next class, all I could do was focus on recovering. I did a presentation in that class about 2 months later where I made fun of my own ability to remember names. I aced that presentation. After that presentation, so many students kept telling me that I did a great job on that presentation. I didn't recognize any of them. I assumed that they were in that class. Since this has happened, I have become way less confident when asking people what their names are. It's a joke with many people in that class how bad I am with names. I think I know about 6 people in that class by name now. I would just have people like come up to me and just comment about something about that class. One person was braiding my hair when she told me that she was in that class with me. I was convinced that she was pulling a joke on me, but then I saw her in the next class and lost more self-confidence. We never had the name quiz. Tomorrow I could just walk into class and then there it is, staring back at me, just like this guy who just subscribed. Anyways. If you would like to hear more experiences I have had, then like and subscribe. And if you do not want me to share more stories, then subscribe, leave a like, and then comment terrible video. Or if you would like more stories and just think that I'm bad at storytelling, then comment Santa after subscribing. You can also click on this video.